All right, welcome. Bienvenidos aquí a Not Two Balls and a Mic. This is a special presentation. We are back. Presentación especial aquí con Chelas con Chavos. Regresa a Two Balls and a Mic, episode 5, right where we left off. And this iteration of Chelas con Chavos is going to be a little bit different because we are going to have a point of contact. And this is going to be a podcast or a show where everything from the Chavo side of things, supporters culture, and everything from the perspective of the Chavos and who's a Chavo. We'll get into that. Everybody can be a Chavo, so we'll get into how to do that. But without further ado, our guide in all this, please welcome our friend Miguel Barajas from the Chavos de Loyal. Miguel.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome to your house.
Welcome. Yes, sir.
Hogar, familia.
So good to be back.
I mean, I think were you part of the first one that we did at Machete?
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually said it in the Machete one was myself, Adrian, Sam, and Kevin.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. That was a long time ago.
Let's be completely honest. Everybody was kind of messed up because it was, if I remember correctly, like this is going back in San Diego Loyal history, right? It was when everybody was trying to do those pop-up watch parties. This one was the first one at Machete in National City. It's going to be great. Yeah. La neta, las teles, the TVs weren't working properly. The antenna, had the fork in it and couldn't get signal, and then the sun and this. But we made it work.
I do remember one of the TVs had the sun coming in, and you really couldn't see it, so we all kind of concentrate on the one with the shade in it. And I mean, after a while, once you get like 50 people looking at the same TV, it gets a little annoying.
With our new look, we have honestly, this is the first Chelas con Chavos right here. I still have Adrian, the boy. Hey, wait, I was skinnier.
¿Qué te pasó, güey?
I mean, you were fatter, but it's okay.
Dude, no.
Miguel looks just as great as ever. But yeah,
I think you appreciate that, man. But I think it's still the same hat too.
Hell yeah,
hell yeah, dude.
You keep that clean. I mean, obviously, Miguel is a very vocal member of the community. I've seen him out there, not necessarily just with Chavos, just in general with San Diego Loyal. So a very prominent member. Yep. Also, member of the armed services. So muchas gracias. Thank you for that. And
gracias.
Really appreciate what you do in that sense. But I mean, let's get down to it, right? So Chelas con Chavos coming back. We kind of talked about what we wanted to do. And originally when we started it, and it's still up in the air. Kevin dice que fue nosotros como nosotros. At the end, it doesn't matter anymore. We're all together.
Yeah.
But Chelas con Chavos is that voice of the Chavos, the loyal. Because honestly, los queremos. We love them. Los locals, they have their stuff. I think they're going live a little bit later tonight. This will not be live, maybe on some special occasions. But I mean, you want to talk about just kind of what you would want Chelas con Chavos to be in. And I know this is input not just from yourself, obviously. We're getting input from the entire supporter group, leadership in Chavos, las madrinas, who are very important, the ladies of the supporter group, which on both sides, everybody in 109 must thank the ladies of 109, because without them, no nos dejan hacer nada. God bless them, because they let us do what we do.
Todos ustedes.
You're on your way, too. You're on your way. But, Miguel, tell us, what kind of do you have up your sleeve?
Yeah, so I mean, originally the whole concept of the Chelas con Chavos was it all started off with you guys right on the show. But when we decided to kind of when it was whatever happened and we decided to kind of do our own thing, it felt kind of like it was since we were a newer supporter group and we kind of felt like we had to kind of meet up to what to the locals were doing, right? And it was they had their own media pretty much section. They ran their own podcast, different. They were a very, very well organized supporter group, and for us, we kind of wanted to do hey, let's start the podcast and let's talk about San Diego. Let's talk about the history of San Diego, the culture around the city, the culture around the sport, and then what kind of what it takes to be like a Chavo, and how it is that we impact the community, and how kind of just have a little bit more representation about what we are as a group, and what we want to what we want to see done around town. That's kind of how it started off originally when we started the podcast, but then it's kind of slowly but surely kind of turned into like a loyal talking podcast, and it kind of got away from what we initially wanted to have. We wanted to have more representation of the members. We wanted to have a little bit more representation of just the culture that we're trying to bring. Not just to the 109, but also to just to everybody that kind of joins our group. What represent them as individuals and as a group in general. So we took that hiatus and we realized like we need help. We kind of started off like just kind of going off, trying to be bigger than what we kind of were, and we just kind of realized like the voice wasn't just having a show. The voice kind of started off with being able to represent ourselves, and it started off with in the podcast here with two balls and a mic. So we had a big discussion about it. We talked about it. Abel talked to me, we talked to Johnny as well, and we decided, hey, it's thank you guys for spreading the invitation out. And we're more than happy to take it because honestly, man, I don't know how you guys do it. Running a podcast is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Dude, it took a long time, but we really appreciate being able to come back and join your family once again.
And at the end of the day, Tony and I have always very much identified with what Chavos are trying to do, right? I mean, we're both Mexican. When I heard about the Chavos for the first time, I said, hell yeah. Like, this is dope. Va a ser una barra, I said,
Yeah.
like, this is what I want for a team here in San Diego, and I identified with it so much, and everything you guys have been doing is great, and I'm excited that this project is finally back in Two Balls, just because we want that consistency for you guys to be able to spread your voice out and make yourselves be heard.
And not to be chiculero, but like this is what I told you guys, and I'll tell everybody who's listening that
Chato culero,
this is gonna be not necessarily a fluff show of like, hey, you guys did good, you guys did bad. It might get uncomfortable, and I hope it does, because as of late, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but we've been getting very uncomfortable here on the podcast.
Might get a few phone calls again.
I might get phone calls. But at the end of the day, we'll be critical, right? Because we want to make sure that we want to have this community be heard. And it's honestly something that's not there at all. Like, if you look at this last couple of days, right? As divisive as it was, la mitad de la gente le gustó, la otra mitad le mandaron la verga, los uniforms. And to be honest, like, there's not really that place for us to be like, hey, like, let's see how we feel, or like, there was not a single outlet in Spanish other than Two Balls and a Mic out there, and that's a problem.
And only with Guido.
It's a problem, right? Yeah. Like, I don't expect Colin Martin to be like, hola, ¿qué tal? No, sí,
for sure, but,
hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Colin Martin. Ya estoy hablando con Coque Vegas. But, that's some of the representations that we want, because it's there, and we want to make sure that it's viewed as it is, and some of the history that we'll kind of go into, and this is perfect segue. As I can pull up the Chavos de Loyal account here, because there are some announcements. If you want to talk about a little bit the membership for 2023, right? Because that's the most important thing, is getting people to know what the Chavos is. I was showing a clip right now of the only podcast in San Diego to do a show out of the office. That was really cool. But it's the information about like Chavo. Like, that was a lot of the questions from, honestly, people who aren't familiar with Los Chavos or El Chavo del Ocho, Chavo del who didn't grow up with it. But it's that education aspect of like, ¿quién es el Chavo? El Chavo is this character who is the every Mexican, every Mexican kid. Every Mexican at some point was a Mexican kid. And so we kind of identify with Chavo, if not Chavo, with some of the auxiliary characters. I mean, clearly, I was called Ñoño for a long time. Hey, Miguel, ¿qué pedo, güey?
No, but I mean, I could say, like,
I could tell te pareces, güey. The come over too. A mí me decían Kiko, güey.
¿De dónde, güey?
They used to call me Kiko también. Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, dude. So, I mean, again, stuff are still going to be shared through Chelas con Chavos, the Twitter handle, Instagram as well. Chavos de Loyal. It's going to be shared through Two Balls and a Mic as well. What are you pulling up there?
El Kiko, güey.
Oh, Kiko.
Again, we're educating, but if in case of education, again, you're talking about Chelas con Chavos here, so Instagram still active.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, the way the the way the Chavo has been described to all our new members is it's the kid inside you. You know, it's the troublemaker inside you that kind of wants to just get out there and you know, still be part of the group, but at the same time still be true to yourself, right?
Yeah.
You know, we obviously have a reputation, but it's not thankfully it's not a violent one, or it's not.
Yeah.
And we're definitely more known for just being a little bit rowdy, a little bit outside of the comfort zone of some people in 109, which
like, it's fine.
I see that's the way it's got to be.
Yeah.
And you know, we're proud of that. I mean, we're proud of the fact that we can be loud. We're proud of the fact that people, when they see us, and you know, they know what they're gonna get. And you know, the more people we get joining, you know, the bigger this passion gets, right? And you know, in the vecindad, it's kind of like, you know, like you're talking about, man. That show is just resonates with everybody. You know, I'm gonna admit the first time I ever watched it was when it was with Chespirito. I didn't
Yes.
know it was its own show back in the day until my dad, you know, kind of brought me into it. But even then, like, you know, the Chavo del Ocho was only like, it would only come on as a skit, like a 10-minute skit, maybe once every month or something like that, you know. Yeah, exactly. That's the show, man.
Yo, this is, I don't know how to describe. It's like a Saturday Night Live type show, but with one dude doing most of the characters, and you get
like a Key and Peele, but Mexican style.
Yeah, and great. Like the guy that played Chavo is the guy that plays Chapulín Colorado. If you know Chapulín Colorado, is like, you see it against around Mexican culture, the
Fucking
yellow
hero,
heart
bro.
with the CH on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And
Captain
you know,
America right
those two are, this dude is like a real life Walt Disney, and he created these characters out of the love of the culture and the love of everything that goes on in the every Mexican household. And it's not even that Mexican household, right? Like it's one of those shows that, much like Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if you guys ever watched Dragon Ball Z coming up, the anime.
Poquito.
Yeah, a little bit.
So like, that's another show that kind of translates into all the languages, obviously. But you go to Argentina, you go to Brazil, you go to Spain. It's like, they know the stories, they know this because it's universal in so many ways.
Yeah, even in the Philippines too.
Yeah.
Like I think like any Spanish speaking country, I think at one point the Chavo del Ocho or Chespirito was ranked #1 at some point.
I think this is some audio in Portuguese.
Sim, está bem. Dá o dinheiro para ir comprar doces lá na venda?
Dinheiro.
No
Tudo
way.
que faz é pedir
That's
dinheiro.
freaking sick.
É que desse tema eu entendo muito bem.
Lo entiendo muy bien.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, that's kind of context into that, and we'll get into that as this show progresses and goes. And honestly, like, Chavos, I've been disappointed in the fact that it's been 4 years. I'll give you 3 years that you can actually see a game, but not a single Chavos night where people dress up like Chilindrina, como el Kiko, como el Chavo.
Oh,
like,
that's sick.
that's something I want to put on the Chavos radar. And I know that everybody in 109 can kind of jump into it, but I mean, bro,
A bunch of chavos in 109.
That is a great idea.
That's
I'm
sick.
actually
That's sick.
I'm actually one of the directors for the for stadium operations and events, so I will bring that up. That's actually a really good idea.
I will
yeah.
sign up as Ñoño.
I'll
heard
write
it
it
here
on the dog,
first.
you know, just in case.
Yeah, we have a doc now, so it'll go out there. Put it on the media thing on the Discord. But But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at now, and obviously the season starts here on Saturday. As far as that goes, obviously everybody's excited. New kits, new everything. Nuevos murales, que pues, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but importantly, we have Chavos here. Once has a great idea 3 years ago. We were a supporter group that has become a family and represented our blended cultures and our undying love for San Diego. Very important. We are supporters of San Diego, Chavos del Loyal. To our faithful members, nuestra familia, thank you for never-ending support. On behalf of the Chavos, we extend our membership and opportunity to join our familia. You have some perks here. Discounts with business partners, exclusive members to road trips, member-only events, La Piedra Scarf, which we'll be talking about in a bit here. You can find this on the Chavos de Loyal Twitter account. So, I mean, what else?
It's completely free.
That's important. 100%.
It's 100% free. And that membership extends all the way from February 22nd to February 22nd of the next year, which is the Ultra Chavos birthday. That is the day that the Chavos de Loyal were founded. So if just to be on the Discord itself, I mean, you've seen all these new people coming in.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be able to see people that are just like, oh man, I'm I'm glad I can finally get in this time, or they've been actually looking forward to the membership opening up. But the membership's open up. It's open for the entire year. You don't have to wait from for February to be able to sign up. I mean, you can just go to our to the Instagram page and sign up, fill out the form, and we'll send you all the information you need. But I mean, you can't be free, right? And that was one of the main things that we wanted to do, or that that Kevin and the other Padrinos wanted to do when this all started, was it has to be available for everybody to come in and and just kind of feel be a part of them, be a part of something greater, but at the same time still be that individual that wants to support not just the Loyal, like you said, but just San Diego in general. Everything San Diego, from community, from the Padres, from the Loyal, from the Wave, from the Soccers. Now we have the Brujos, the supporter group for the Soccers. It's just this community is open for anybody and everybody that loves San Diego. I mean, we have a couple Dodger fans there too, but I mean, whatever.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but
that's unfortunate for those guys.
You gotta love
they
your
don't know
family
any, they don't know any
sometimes.
better just yet, right?
Sorry. I was born in LA. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, that's exactly kind of what and it's good to see all this stuff kind of coming to fruition, especially after this, going into our third year for sure.
100%. And yeah, I mean, everybody is welcome. Chiva, you were about to say something?
I want to check out this scarf.
Okay.
I want to
talk
about this scarf because it's gorgeous, man.
So scarf is coming in. Obviously, last year was Vicente Fernandez. You've always had that silky type of material for that.
Is it going to be same material?
Same material, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
perfect. So first, it was announced and it was dropped by the Chavos on their page. Essentially kind of like what this all sort of means, represents, because you always want to kind of give perspective. Y pues, a veces la gente propia, la gente misma no sabe qué es el significado de la historia, what it means, or where it comes from. So, because we're so far removed, right? Like, are you you're first generation Mexican American? I'm first generation.
I'm first generation. My dad's side. I'm second on my mom's.
And so, I mean, if that's us, y pues ya estamos medio rucos nosotros, like, there's kids that are coming up that are like fourth generation at this point. Like, the 18-year-olds now that are coming out of high school, like, they have no idea, like, what it was like to even go visit the abuelita over on the weekday, pre 9/11, when you could cross the border, like, with a quickness.
Oh, man. Dude, those were the days. Remember that? Like, waking up at like 6:30, crossing the border by 7:15, and you're at school by 7:30 in the morning.
So yeah, my first 2 weeks actually in the States, because I used to go to TJ. First, I used to live in TJ, and I went to school all the way up till third grade. Fourth grade, I transferred over here. Oh, this is great, fantastic. I would cross every morning, and one day I crossed over here, stayed here over the night, and then boom, next day it's 9/11, close the borders. My parents and my sisters are over there on that side. I'm with my grandma. I mean, it's crazy. And this is a reality that one of our players now knows, right? And I don't think the club has really delved into that too much. Still pretty early, but, there's a story there that still hasn't been told as far as Joe Corona comes, and it's something that I think only people from this region can truly understand. You can make a Fox piece out of it, Fox Deportes, and sure, the person that lives, in Arizona was like, oh yeah, similar, but like, I can't imagine the burritos en la línea, las tortas Johnny, are just as good crossing back from the border than it is in Arizona. If you can't get the same type of food,
Johnny at 6 a.m., bro.
If you can't get the same food from San Isidro to Otay, and it's like the difference between San Diego and LA Mexican food, like, it's night and day.
Yeah, I used to remember getting the elotes. That was the first thing. I was a big fan of the. I still am actually, of the churros. So I used to get all those with the jicama and the sandía and stuff like that, tajin and tapatio. And, man, it was
The guys that
it
would
was something
chase
else,
you,
man.
like se fue la línea, oh, se nos fue, but the guy
Dude,
would
they
find
hustle.
you,
Las
dude.
doñas,
Yeah, man.
whew.
They hustle out
Dude,
there.
you be going like 30 cars deep, and you see that guy running with your
It's like,
stuff.
ya
And
no
then
me encontró.
no, they always find you, man. They always find you.
And they put the same amount of hustle when they're trying to just get you your change. They already gave you the product. They already gave you the
Yes.
food. And they will hustle. Oh, aquí están tus 2 pesos. Wait, quédatelos. Keep them.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah,
You deserve
you
it.
earned it, man. They also
Dinosaur
running back. They're
Campino,
running
man.
back with the with the bag full of soda. Because I mean, I don't know. You guys remember growing up with that, dude?
Bro,
The
Bolsa
bolsa
de
de soda.
cocas?
bolsa de
Bolsa de
cocas.
coquita?
Yeah,
Oof.
bro.
Coquita en bolsa. Dang.
I was
like-
just talking about this the
Yeah,
other day.
yeah,
Like,
you
it
were.
tastes so much
Yeah.
better.
It
hits
tastes different.
man.
It's
It
just
hits
like, when
different
you
for sure.
you don't have those extra 5 cents. I mean, to leave down for the deposit, you just fucking just throw it in a bag, put a straw in it, you're good.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want one now. Well, there's like that second row of things that is showing otra coca en bolsa.
No, it's like,
Ese es otro tipo de coquita en bolsita.
No, but mi amigo aquí está feliz. Look at him. Like,
Look, bien inocente.
diabetes is strong.
But in the pockets está la otra bolsita.
dude,
But yeah, and that's part of it, right? Like,
yeah.
I wish I could just share with everybody my upbringing in Mexico. I know you grew up in TJ too. Like, it was just so different, and just even being here before that time and knowing what the TJ Baja California world was, going down to Ensenada where everything was just open and stuff. It brings back good memories, and I mean, for me in soccer, like, that was where I grew up. It's just the border, because I needed to play over there in TJ, come over here for
Yeah.
stuff. So
It seems like the people that didn't grow up here had more to say about how our region should be run.
yeah, and I think
It's like-
that's something that's important, right? It's not like, oh, we're gonna take back our culture. No, güey, es cultura de everybody. Like, just learn how to share it. Don't be a dick about it, and and get down and dirty with it. So, a lot of education to go. Speaking of education, right? Let's educate not about the coquitas, because we already went through that one. So this drops. Eduquense. As Chavos, we pride ourselves in giving our football community scarves, not only that represent our passion, but have a deeper meaning behind them. Piedra de Chavos is no exception. Inspired by the beautiful culture of Mexica Aztecs, who left behind fossils, carvings, and messages and art that showed their undying love for not only their people, but their land. Piedra de Chavos scarf blends the Mexica culture, our city, and club with its fossil-like writings, colors, and a 2-headed serpent representing rebirth and evolution. This 2023 season, our scarf embodies the idea that no matter what decisions are made within our city, group, or around us, one thing will never change. We're Chavos till the end. So,
Beautiful message.
who came up with that?
I'm pretty sure that was Kevin, man.
Okay.
Oh,
that was Kevin, and I'm pretty sure Jeanette probably had some sprinkles in there as well. Maybe some of the padrinos and stuff like that. They've been talking about that. The cool thing about the Chavos, and it's kind of unique to our group, is that the padrinos, the 4 core guys that started that from the beginning. They still have a lot of input on how, what kind of message they're trying to portray, right? And it's something that that I think it's actually really good, because it was their idea. This is their baby, and at the same time, they're giving us like kind of like the liberties to be able to kind of run with whatever is kind of in our head, and they're not stopping us from growth, and at the same time, they're always really good about bringing us back and be like, okay, boom, like this Piedra con Chavos scarf. I mean, this Piedra de Chavos scarf. It's just like that's a good way of being like, hey, this past year, a lot of stuff happened, but year 3 starts now, and remember who we are and what we're trying to do. And last year Kevin released it the same way too, with the padrinos and stuff. They started off little things in Discord with the mariachi scarf.
Mm-hmm.
Just little pictures here and there, just kind of trying to show a little bit of history or representation of what the scarf means. This year is no different, and I think people were ready for it, man. Then when I made the Discord channel for the 2023 scarves, people were just like, they were kind of ready for it, but I was just like, oh man, I messed up because I was just trying to be proactive.
Yeah.
But like later on that afternoon, Kevin started doing the release stuff, and it was great.
So here is the scarf. This is front, back, the different ways to wear a scarf. But I mean, I think that the thought that goes into the scarves is really intentional and has shown through and through. Like, I love me some locals, guys, but that shit's too hot in the
It's
summer.
very thick. Yeah,
I love you guys, los quiero. Like I've had every single one.
me too. Yeah.
But those in the summer just hit different. Like, you can put them as an ascot. You can put them as you can put some water on them. They're
easier to tie in your belt too, in your belt loop.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't know,
Yeah.
but
No. Well, for us,
I need a bigger one.
Oh no, they go just like kind of like loop it
Oh,
around.
just loop it.
man,
Okay.
not around.
Yo como
Vato,
cinco.
come on.
No, not the.
Vato.
No. But no, it's so
gotta
the
culture
only
yourself,
the only
man.
downside about these silky ones that it's easy to lose, because they're so light and they're so like
Yeah.
they have a tendency to kind of slip off your shoulder sometimes, especially if you're like if you're jumping up and singing all the time. But other than that, I agree with you 100%, man. Like sometimes I love those local scarves, but dude, we're in San Diego, man. Season's in the summer. Like we're
It's
not
been
gonna
cold
see
lately.
60.
It's been
Yeah, a
cold
little bit
lately,
cold,
but
hey.
I've used some.
if it's
some
the
local
coldest
scarves,
winter,
yeah.
it's gonna be the hottest summer we've had as well. So
They definitely have more traditional scarves, in the sense of
Yeah.
supporters.
Yeah.
But I feel like this kind of works for all of us. And I don't know, what do you guys? To me, okay, the most favorite thing about this scarf for me is the San Diego lettering and the California shape. I don't know.
Mhm.
What do you guys like the most?
So I really like that new centerpiece that has El Chavo Ultra in the middle with the SD California, the 2020. Just I like just like cementing.
Yeah.
This is where we started.
Yeah.
Like this is where it is, and I think that's something that can be used throughout. I know that's kind of what the new photo for the Twitter
that's
is
our
essentially
our homepage
yeah.
one. Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that right there is really cool to me.
Oh man, and I like the design too, like the way it's kind of like just kind of drawn out. But what do you think, Chiva?
I like the Chavos and the Loyal. It's just it speaks what it is, right? Chavos and Loyal together, because at the end of the day, it's kind of what we want to grow. We want to grow more Chavos in the Loyal community. We want more raza in the Loyal community. And Tony and I have talked about it since the first day we went to Toro. We're like, hay mucho güerito aquí.
Yeah,
we
nothing
need
wrong
a
with
little
that.
bit more raza. Nothing wrong, but
Nothing wrong.
and and we told ourselves it's gonna be up to us and people like us to try to bring more raza into Torero Stadium and to like Loyal. And you know what? And I think it has been growing slowly but surely.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this could be the season where we manage to work together to get more people at Torero Stadium.
Down with that.
Yeah, and there's more people. Yeah, there's definitely more people paying attention. And I think I think all this 3-letter league talk has been kind of getting more people attention to us, and
Hey, que
it's
chinga su
good
madre la
because
MLS. We could say.
no, see, yeah, no, por eso, yeah, I don't
Por ahorita.
like. I could really care less for either one, but we're getting a lot of people, because they're starting to pay attention to our social media. They're starting paying attention to our, to the way the Loyal's been releasing a few kits and stuff like that, and it's good for us too. And we brought in a bunch of new people too from Soccer's, that just strictly know us from the Soccer's games, and it's good to see those people that want to be a part of this, this community. So I mean, I love it.
That vecindad aspect truly is growing, and I think that's one of the smartest things. That if it was Adrian, and I'll give him the credit, but if it was somebody else, let me know. But the Brujos del 78, like growing the actual lore of La Vecindad to expand it into another soccer team in the city is genius. So I've always kind of waited to see what happens at the Wave games. Like, is another las Doñas Florindas or I don't know, man. Where
It's a
that
lot
should
of
be pretty
commitment,
cool.
man, to spread out everywhere. But
it is. But imagine just like, you know what?
Chavos, Brujos.
Chavos, Brujos, las popis. Oh, las popis.
For the Wave, oh man, that'd be pretty good.
And then
poppies.
las chilindrinas. Oh,
Las Chilindrinas. There you
bro.
go, bro. You're onto something.
Las
there.
Chilindrinas de qué? Not the Wave. Las Chilindrinas is fine.
Yeah, las
I would think about
chilenas.
that. La onda, nah.
Yeah, and it can literally just be what it is, right? Like, let's be honest,
Mm-hmm.
supporters for the Soccers, Los Brujos, is Chavos.
It is,
They
yeah.
just put on a different, literally sometimes a mask, and
Yeah,
that's what they don. So it'd be really cool to be like, you know what, nos vamos a prestar, and we're gonna go to the Wave game representing. We're the Chilindrinas, but ultimately we're still Chavos del Hoyo, but it's all the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we have I mean, yeah, especially for the Brujos and stuff like that, we have a few of the really hardcore, like they love the Soccers, right?
Yeah.
It's that's Adrian, you know, you got Cisco, you got his sister dude, I'm drawing a blank. Oh my god, drawing a blank. Angie.
Angie,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, Angie, and then you know, Remy's been coming around a lot more often too, you know, and then Abel's out there too, and you know, they got their mascaras on, and, you know, playing the drums and stuff. Um yeah, I mean, those guys, they're loud. I mean, just
Yeah.
because it's indoor, man, it gets pretty loud in there. And I think they've done a really good job of timing out their drum sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think Adrian's been doing really an awesome job of just leading like the drums, just not just for the the Soccers, you know, but also for the Loyal too. And he's come up with a really really cool system. You know, along with Abel and all the other drummers as well, where you know they're starting to get ranked, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
but as before, you know, it was cool. People were just kind of coming in. They wanted to experience drumming at the game, you know, so on and so forth. But you know, I think last year he's like, hey, we gotta tighten it up. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we gotta tighten it up because we're starting to sound sloppy. And I think you guys pointed it out at one time too. It just kind of sounded like
Yeah.
there was a bunch of different beats going on
Yeah.
around around the one section 109, and he took the reins on it. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, we got some of the practices that we've been seeing, and especially some of the videos, man, they're sounding really good. They sound really good. So we're gonna definitely have the best drum section, not just in USL, man, but probably in all of US soccer for sure.
Hell yeah, man. I love hearing that. With that being said, we have important dates coming up, right? As well for
Yes.
Chavos with drum circles. You want to talk about those dates real quick?
Yeah. So we actually there was a drum practice yesterday at at the Snapdragon Park. Well, there's a park over by Snapdragon Stadium. So that was kind of a pre warm up. The last practice before the game is going to be actually tomorrow.
Okay.
So you know, I think it's probably going to be around the same time, maybe like 6 p.m. or something like that. But you know, if you keep an eye out on the Chavos Drumline IG, and also like on the Chavos de Loyal IG, they'll definitely give you the times. But we have new chances here, so we have a lot of new chance.
Cool, because that's
and
the one thing I kept asking everybody
Yeah.
for. You guys had 2 years to come up with something. A pandemic, you had a whole World Cup with worldly chants, with the this, the that, the rhythms that could come in. Like, there's just so much. And then I'm expecting big things from 109. Like I say, 109, I need something.
And I want to clarify, just because this is going to drop, we're recording on Tuesday, it's going to drop on Wednesday. It's going to be technically, if you're listening, Wednesday.
today.
Yes.
Today,
Yeah.
Wednesday. At
Today.
6
Oh, yeah,
p.m.
exactly.
Is it going to be?
I think it's gonna be like at 6 p.m.
Perfect.
over at the Snapdragon, over in the Snapdragon area, and that's gonna be together with the locals as well. You know, locals have been putting a lot of hard work too in these chants, and you know, like, you know, I love the fact that they're able to just kind of pick it up and everything, and just and roll with it, and they're sharing it with their groups too, and we're sharing it with our group, so it's gonna definitely be very, very cohesive this year for sure.
That's great to hear, man. I'm excited to hear you guys. I mean, we're down there on the field, but we can hear you across the field as well. And sometimes it does sound where, oh, you know what?
Yeah, sometimes we don't hear you.
It's like, man, it's kind of quiet today. People
Yeah.
are missing, or then it's loud, and we're like, oh shit, it's loud. All
Yeah.
right, this is dope. So I'm excited to hear you guys for sure this season.
Y que le echen huevos. Like, that's the thing. Like,
Straight up,
it's all I as a San Diegan can ask for. Because again, Chavos de Loyal supports San Diego, and in its iteration of soccer, which just happens to be loyal. So San Diego, the city above all, and I think that's something that resonates, you know, for a lot of people. I know I like that because, you know, for a lot of people last season, it was tough to be like, yeah, but it's that separation of like, no, city first, then club. Yeah. That really helped people stick to their guns and stick to their morals. And it got dicey for a second, but again, this is part of what it is. And we said this last night on our episode, is that this is a family. Like, the loyal supporters fandom is a family. Sometimes you have to talk it out with your family. Sometimes you gotta,
family fights.
Sometimes you gotta hold the motherfucker down. Like,
Yeah.
cabrón, like, entiende, güey. Like, agarra
Sí.
la onda, güey. Ponte las pilas.
Cero pedo.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of it too. And I welcome those who want to get into that too, right? It's not no es pleito. It's not trying to pick fights for the sake of picking fights or arguments, but for the sake of doing better and for the sake of everybody to have as much fun
And for
enjoy.
growing.
Yeah, for real growth. Porque si no, se quedan estancados, and then you know, you have a supporter group with one person for 4 years, and I queda eso.
Yeah, and then it's all about teaching the new members or everybody from both sides, right? Sorry about that, my wife.
No, you're good. No worries.
What is she cooking?
What is
she cooking?
She's making like a veggie salad and like baked stuff. She got into this veggie kick, so I kind of have to put up with that.
You
as
have
well.
no choice. You
Yeah.
have
No,
you
I
have
have
no
no
choice.
choice
I mean-
there.
But yeah,
okay.
it's all about growing the future, right? Growing the kids, all these new people coming around. We have this kid. I don't know if you guys have met him. His name is Cooper. He's actually part of our Chavos drum line. He's been, he actually started drumming about 2 or 3 years ago, and he got so good. His parents actually bought him a drum set, and the way he's progressed over the last couple of years has been like it's been amazing. And his mom's always talking about like crediting Adrian and the Chavos drumline for giving him this passion. Because I mean the kid picked up a musical instrument. He's taking classes now, and he's got a full drum set that he's doing stuff right. And it's stuff like that. We want to make sure that it just because it's going to be some point where maybe you and I or maybe some other Chavos are not going to be able to make all the games all the time. So we need people to kind of step up and even from the local side too. And yeah, I mean, like you said, dude, it's about being proud of where you're from. Being proud of your city, being proud of your town, your culture, your heritage, and that's the only way we're going to grow together as a group and as a cohesive unit. If we want to show the rest of the United States that San Diego is the soccer capital of the United States, we have to start acting like it.
I freaking love that, man. That's great. Man.
And as here's the thing, and this is what I'll put it back on the supporters of the Chavos and the listeners, is that you may be saying this, you and a couple people are always there, will be there,
Pero que se vea, ¿no?
but other commitments need to be made by other people, and they need to help out too. Same thing on the other side of the aisle. Same thing on the other side of the 109. Like, it can't just be 3-4 people, because then it's just going to be the same 3-4 people.
And it's
the
draining
clubs,
for those people too.
It's draining when they talk to the club's just going to be like, it's just you 3 people again. Do the people really want this? No, yes. But there's a way to do this, and I think this is an outlet, and we may have this at some point be live and have input from people and things that need to be brought up. But this is something that definitely is needed for the community. At some point, this might turn into completely Spanish. But yeah, so
Yep.
We have a game Saturday.
yes,
And Chavos meet before the game, right, Miguel?
Yes, we
Yes.
meet every game time, every game day. I think we meet maybe about 3 hours before every game day. We meet at Def Brewing. They've been super awesome with us. I mean, those guys, from the beginning, we kind of started off, in Coronado Brewing, kind of like everybody else, and it's just like, you know what, let's try to see if we can find something better. Not better, but just a little bit less, just a little bit more where we can kind of hang out and be ourselves, right? Def Brewing, they got this perfect patio set up. It's called the Garden. It's definitely modeled more after like a Munich beer fest area. Def Brewing, I don't know if you guys are familiar with your beers. I don't know if you guys are really into beers or not, but they have definitely a lot more European style beers. They have a lot more Kolsch's. They have I'm a big Dunkel fan. I'm a big a Hefeweizen fan, and they have all these German, Irish, and British beers on tap. And not only that as well, but we do get 15% as Chavos members. I'm gonna throw it out there. We get
Nice.
15%
Nice.
off as Chavos members on game day. When we go out there and hang out beforehand. But also within that little same area, they have a pizza. There's a pizza vendor as well, and they also have a wine vendor for that is separate from Deft. But we don't get discounts for those areas just yet. And also, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Mead?
MEADE.
MEADE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a Mead brewer that's also in that same location too. So if you guys want to try some of that, I think it's like fermented honey drinks. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm gonna try it out this time for sure.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
never.
I'm down to try it.
It's a little bit of everybody, a little bit for everything. And yeah, the owner's been super nice to us. Yeah, the garden right there, just like I said, it looks like an Oktoberfest Munich type
I like
festival
those
area. They let
vibes.
us set off smoke bombs. There's always people there enjoying, and the cool part about it is that we're loud
Yeah.
and we're always singing, and people are always curious and they come and talk to us. So it's definitely a good place to hang out and have a good time.
Perfect.
We'll be there Saturday, guys. If you're interested in joining the Chavos, definitely go out there 3 hours before the match. Great time to have a drink, pizza, some wine if you want some wine.
Fill up, because again, it's tough sometimes out over at Torero to get put yourself at a certain point of that people like when they watch your soccer games.
And you get a limit in beers at Torero as well. So
that's gonna be interesting to see how that all happens. But it's
Yeah, I mean, I usually start off with like I maybe do one to start off, and then like when halftime comes around, I'll go get my other one.
there you go.
Or yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Again, this is what Chelas con Chavos is going to be. It's going to eventually lead into conversations about what happened during the game, what's going to be expected, different dates. Anything else you want to add, Tony?
No, I mean, if there's something that anybody wants to go ahead and add as well, like get active on the Chelas con Chavos Discord. I know there's a lot of cross-pollination with the locals, so make sure that everybody's kind of voice is heard, and we'll kind of think of things to bring everybody in and just make this section a little bit interesting with what it is, and hopefully if people can gain a bit better understanding. And honestly, this is kind of why the most critical point of why I wanted to bring Chelas con Chavos back. I want to make sure that Chavos de Loyal is utilized as a tool and as a conduit for culture instead of being just a photo op to check a box for culture. And I think that's been a sentiment that I've heard, that I've experienced to a degree, but some people might not feel comfortable saying that out loud or in public, but that's, I think, a sentiment. I don't know if you agree with that. You've heard people say that where, it's more like, oh, it's a photo op. Like, oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Like, no, like these people have been here since before Loyal, since before this, playing soccer, growing up, and just, respect that and never lose sight of that. And if you do, this is where you'll get called out.
Yeah, definitely. And I think bringing along more people to come. I kind of want everybody to know it's not going to be just me here. I definitely want to see if we can get more members to come on, tell their story about how, where they grew up in San Diego or what brought them to San Diego to begin with. Because I mean, we all have, we're all Hispanic or we all grew up in the San Diego area at some point, but we all have different stories. I mean, you guys know is just as well as I do. Chula Vista is a lot more different than North Park. Lemon Grove is way different than El Cajon and stuff like that. So it's just like everybody's just got their own, there's their own culture, their own vibes, and it's nice for people to be able to tell their own stories.
No, for sure, man. I mean, couldn't have said it better. And I know his story is different than mine. Our stories are different than yours, so definitely looking forward to more episodes of this.
And make sure that you understand too, it's not just a drumming section of 109. Like, this is a complete supporters group, and let's bring it up together and bring it home, because all sides need a voice, and hopefully we can bring this to the masses. And I hope everybody takes a listen and enjoys what was presented today, and more to come, right?
Yep, definitely.
All right.
Definitely. First of all, before I leave, I want to thank you guys again for opening the door. It's definitely really cool for us to be able to come back and the support that you guys have given us to be able to spread the word has been awesome. I mean, like I said before, man, it's not easy doing what you guys do, and I know that firsthand. So thank you guys for allowing us to to return and extending the invitation out. So we're definitely super pumped about this.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Man.
Historia Familia Hogar. That's what the Chavos is all about, and we got 3 of those too. So we're looking forward to this partnership and moving it forward. Thank you, Miguel. At Ole_Frijole. Check out Chelas con Chavos. Check out Chavos de Loyal. Check out the Chavos Drumline. Sign up for the membership. Scarves go on sale for the general public tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow or today.
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 Cool. Then
Yeah,
you should have already got
today.
it.
Yeah, today for the general public.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, guys. Go ahead and get that. Share this with everybody who might want to listen more Spanish. Al tío, tía, primo, prima, al cuate, al cuate, a los Edgars.
And get out there on Saturday.
Get out there on Saturday.
Yep.
Put up or shut up. Así de simple. Thank you, guys.